Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm on leechess.org and going to play a 5-2 game. Okay. Let's try c4. Alright, I guess we're going to have a Benko, huh? Yeah. Let's decline it. Actually, this wasn't my preferred way to decline it. Should have considered that I like that a4 line, but this is another approach as well. Just make sure that a file doesn't open up. I could do a4 right now. Let's shoot for a4 right now. And then a5. Maybe. I'm going to hold off on that. Let's get some more development in. Maybe I could gain a valuable tempo against the queen instead of doing it with the pawn. Light square bishop, where do you belong? I'm going to go just one step. Stay out of knight e5 stuff. Let's go here. I like that I don't have to worry about this bishop move. So if I play knight here, knight e5, I could consider maybe f4, but then there's knight g4. Okay. I'm thinking about knight d2 right now. And why not? What's wrong with that? I'm on their knight. Knight e5 I play here and the knight is trapped. Yeah, I think they just have to go back, and they do. So that was a waste of time there. I don't want to allow knight to b6. I think this is where I do want to play a5 now. a5. Yeah. I'm trying to control this knight. Of course, a knight to b6, I could have considered knight a5 into c6. It's another one to try and weigh. Do I really want to go for this type of break? Maybe. This might be a pretty good way forward. f4, bishop f3, rook e1, pawn push. Are they lining up e6? Maybe I just play within the structure. And by that, I mean something like this. Queen d2, bishop h6. Keep pressure on d6, which, makes this less appealing for sure. I'd have 3 pieces on it at the end of it. Maybe e5 at some point, but basically, I don't want to play this position where I move my f-pawn. I want to keep this guy home as a good shelter for my king. If I do move my f-pawn, I always have to worry of bishop d4 with check. Alright, so I could already consider maybe e5, but let's build up some. There's no rush with this pawn break. Nice improving move would be h3. Just a nice little flight square in there. How can I improve my rook? He's doing a fine job on a1, supporting this pawn who is quite cramping to the black side. Okay. So this is where I could go in for a dark square bishop exchange, and maybe then look to attack their king after all with f4 and e5. Meanwhile, black is up to this maneuver. Let's go for this. Are they going to invite my queen into their position? I think knight c7 is best. Wow, that's really weakening. So they gave up their dark square bishop and just weakened with their last move f6. And basically they're 7th rank. Because when I take, they have to take with their f-pawn, so their king is that much more exposed. So I'm considering now rook a to d1. I don't think I need my a rook to defend my a pawn anymore. Rook a to d1. Or do I capture and then play rook a to d1 and put immediate pressure on d6? They're a bit backward in development. Knight's on the edge. I think I want to make sure this position is opened. If I take on e6, I'm helping the rook out. It has some play on the f-file, but I don't think that that should be so much of a concern. Yeah, let's take. Rook A to d1 next. Threatening the pawn, I'm expecting queen e7. This is a strong knight. Bishop to g4. How can I improve my bishop? Bishop g4 seems like a good spot. Although knight to f6. Their knight on e8 can't move. Otherwise they drop that pawn. Rook f to e1, f2 is sensitive. Bishop g4, knight d to f6. Let's go here. I have to be a bit careful now of my f2 pawn. It's unprotected in my eyes. One attacker, one defender. So queen f6, queen f7, I have to react here most likely. Knight f6 strikes at this pawn. Okay. My idea was bishop here. Maybe my queen isn't so well placed on h6, actually. Let's go here. I'm opposite their queen, and this actually stops d5 for the moment and threatens e5 to break up their center. My bishop secures my queen's position by watching over g4. I'd still like to get in this move, but I think... Well, I'm pretty sure you do this move here right now. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. This is a good moment to break up their pawn center. Queen here threatens mate on g2. It would not be the first time I've fallen for something like that. Although, queen c6 right now, I just have a counterpunch with bishop f3. But if the e-pawn is exchanged for their d-pawn, he's the heart of this three-man group here. So these guys will immediately become weakened, two isolated pawns. So this is a desirable exchange, my e-pawn for their d-pawn. Now how to recapture? If I take with the knight, I'm dropping the a-pawn, but maybe who cares about that if there's something exciting happening over here against their king that is really weakened. Knight takes pawn. Let's just keep the balance material-wise and play against their structure. Yeah, this should still be fine. Got a minute advantage. Are they really considering avoiding the queen exchange? No. Okay, how could I improve further? This is a weak point. How about I play bishop here? I open my rook's eyes, and my bishop is now in a better position. Also, I have this move, hitting the rook and the pawn, and a knight on this square will be a monster. Hitting the bishop, hitting e6. Did not consider that move. That c5 pawn isn't going anywhere, is he? Let's just back up. c5 pawn isn't going anywhere. I want to take here and be on the bishop. Let's take. This should be collapsing now. I'm on the bishop, I'm on e6. If this pawn is hit, it's with check. If he's taken, it's with check. If he ever moves, I have access to their 7th rank. Bishop c8 underdeveloping. Could take a bunch of times on d5 and net another pawn. Okay, What's wrong with grabbing on e6? Could take with the rook even. Let's just keep it simple. Grab another pawn. Insert a check. No, let's just recapture. I'm on the bishop. Trying to scare away my rook. Let's just stay coordinated. Let's give him a kick. I might do some time gainers. Yeah, let's get a time gainer in there. A time gainer. Not a time burner, a time gainer. Alright. Okay, let's go here. And they might work themselves into a self-pin. They did. I could take and defend my bishop. Bishop here is a threat. Did not see that move, unfortunately. Okay, I have to re-win this one now. Let's go here. Are they going to play rook to a1? I could get them in a pin again. Rook a1, rook e1. Also on a6. Rook c5, bishop takes pawn. We'll have a 3 versus 2 on the king side at the end. I guess that's what we're going to go with. And I'm going to try to win this, which will be difficult because I'm down on time. And I don't even have the correct queening pawn. Let's see, maybe this is one of my better chances to lose. I have to stop bishop to b5 now. I've worked myself into a pin, unfortunately. Not cool. At all. Now I have to defend against all these attacking moves against my bishop. Maybe I play here. Let's try this with rook to f2. There are better ways to go about this one, that's for sure. King here, bishop g2. Rook ending alone. Alright, let's go here, bishop to g2. Don't want to fall for rook h1 mate. Let's see if I could work some magic with this. They're keeping that bishop on. Interesting. Okay. How to improve here? Bishop f3. King g2, king f2. Evening out on time. My king is on a light square for just a moment. There we go. I have g4. Let's get over here. Operate on a dark square. They're positioning another pawn on a light square. I want the rooks off. They're offering a draw. No, I'm going to try something still. Not sure what. Maybe I could try for some tricks. Bishop d3. Okay, they have that. I have to defend. That's a good way to do it. I guess in the end I don't really have anything. And that was just repetition, wasn't it? Yeah, it was just repetition. There it is. Okay, missed opportunity there for sure. In that ending. We go into the analysis. Hmm. Okay. I liked how I played the opening. Certainly could have converted that endgame much better, being up 2 pawns, and yeah, you know what? I missed that rook 2. What move was that? When I went over to pin their bishop, I missed this resource right here, rook to d1, and that really turned the tables. Being up a pawn, this is really tough to win on the king side, 3 versus 2. Okay, let's have a look at it without the evaluation for a moment. Although I don't think it would be too bad to even put it on right now. It'll probably be saying that I'm the better side, just a space advantage. And I'm pretty sure it'll hold as that for a great portion of this game. This other line that I was referring to early on with like a declined Benko Gambit of sorts is A4. In on takes, then knight here, E4, and bishop takes. I've played this in, I think, a couple standard games. Just another approach, this A4 in reply to the Benko B5. But I went with captures and then basically decline it with B6. Keep the A file closed. D6, just getting our pieces out. Queen takes. Yeah, so they lost some time around here. This knight G4 move, I'm pretty sure that this is a good reaction because he's hit twice, and where does he go? But back to F6. If he goes here, F4 wins the knight. And this isn't really helping because I still have F4 and now. Although, hang on, I have to be careful. Knight to E3. If they played knight to E5 here, what would I do on knight E5? Well, at the very least, I could give him a boot and then give him a boot. So I'm advancing and pushing my opponent back, gaining some valuable moves, valuable tempi. So this really can't be correct for black. I really don't know what the computer would be suggesting for black right about here. Tough to say. This bishop struggles, for one. You know, they're working with, well, I have the space advantage. Black still has all minor pieces, so they're still struggling, in other words, to find adequate squares for their minor pieces. If they play A5, trying for this light square bishop exchange, I have the B5 square now to operate on. It may seem far-fetched, but you know, I could try to make these kind of maneuvers with my knight and focus in on that weak point B5 now. If they do go for something like this, getting a minor piece exchanged. I'm not sure of queen here, but just to illustrate the idea, I could really focus on the B5 square. I don't even know that I would need to go with this knight. Maybe just jumping in right here. Bishop D2 to C3 to offset the dark square bishop. And then maybe look for this. This is a strong piece. Okay, the short story, in other words, is if you're trying to get rid of the light square bishop with A5, it comes with the cost, the weakness of that B5 square. So, yeah, let me turn it on right around here. Close to a pawn advantage. And just kind of skimming through. Nothing, just doing a quick blunder check, I guess. Knight G4. No, Queen B4. It's computer-esque. No fear of A5, Rook A4, getting the queen maybe kicked. Well, for the moment, E4 is hit, so this would be a more human-like reply. But I guess this is fine. You know, knight takes, queen takes, rook here, and the queen is going to be trapped. Yeah, sure. I saw this. Yeah. Who did not see that variation coming? You know, a5, rook a4, you sack this pawn, rook f4, g4 ideas. Yeah. Okay. Anyhow, computer move, but there's a fine reply. You know, you don't have to see this. You could play something quite natural, develop a piece and defend. So they went with knight g4. This really didn't turn out too well. I gained some time. And yeah, this is an important moment because, you know, this is like how would you say, this is like middle game planning, different avenues that you could take in a game. This might be quite tempting to go with f4 and e5, but as mentioned, I wanted to play within the structure. I just wanted to improve still my pieces further, and I can do that. I can look to do exactly what I did in the game, which is formate a battery on this diagonal and go for a dark square bishop exchange, and then go from there. See what moves black has thrown back at me, and maybe they weaken their king position somewhat, and I could start to focus more on their weakened king position as a result. And in the meantime, I'm not weakening my own king position. If I do get my f-pawn involved, if I'm trying something like this, there are some weaknesses I'm creating. e3, I'm exposed along this diagonal, this rank. I'm vulnerable to bishop d4 checks. Just throwing some stuff out there. It's running through my mind. This is a much safer or conservative approach, and it's perfectly fine. Bishop f4, queen e8, queen d2. It's fine with this idea, giving me a pawn advantage. I take, happy with that. I guess I could do this, but it didn't feel as convincing to have this square clogged up. Yeah, I wanted to, if I'm going to play rook a to d1, I want to be biting at something here. I want to see one of my opponent's pawns directly. So that's why I first took. And yeah, it's what I would have expected evaluation-wise here, close to 2. Queen d2. That's pretty direct, huh? Just add one more piece on this, and he simply falls. Queen d2. Hit 3 times, defended twice, can't be defended again. Yeah, that works. What's the trick here? Oh, on rook here I have a knight move. Rook takes queen, knight takes queen with check. Pawn takes knight, queen takes rook. That's what black gets for having that knight on e5, or that knight on e8, having that disconnect between the rooks. Okay, well I could have played queen d2 right away, but instead I played rook f to d1. Yeah, this is where I spent some time. You know, I was certainly hesitant to do this because I recognized the weakness on f2. Yeah, it's unprotected as soon as I do this. Queen here, pressure against f2. So just immediately queen to d2. It was only until a move or two later that I finally saw it best to pull the queen back. Okay, it does like queen e3 and e5. Okay. Knight a4. 2.5. I don't know. I guess there's multiple good moves here. Bishop c4 can't be so bad, huh? Knight a4. What did I do? I played knight d7 and then this. But this other knight could also hunt down c5. Okay, I didn't really see that. I mean, I was only looking at this move with tempo against the rook and then getting at c5, which is fine. Knight e4 I could have played here. A lot of could-haves. +5. That's sad. +4, +2. What's better right around here? Not taking this knight, but this one. Oh, man. Many opportunities. Even here. Just grab another pawn. Oh, well. Oh, man. Now it's back to tough. It's back to tough here. Pawn advantage, not even. Yeah, this isn't going to be enough here. Yeah, but right in these complications, two rooks really well centralized, and I could just take right here instead of recapturing. This is the more advanced knight. You should be looking to take him out instead of him. But to be honest, I was completely blind even taking here. I was just in recapture mode. Rook takes knight. Knight takes there. Yeah, and the other thing is that I get to maintain my structure. Although I don't know how great of a structure this is, to be perfectly honest. He's backward, but I should be looking more beyond structure at this stage. There should be, I mean, I'm up 2 pawns here. Really active rooks. They have a more vulnerable king. Still a lot of pieces on the board. Could maybe put their king position into question. Knight takes d5. That would have been really clean. Sun takes here. I'm recapturing and hitting everything. And this game goes no further. Probably resign right around here. Oh, man. Too many missed opportunities in this one. Did any blunders come about in this ending? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I had anything. Yeah, they're just, they keep the rook on the board. I can't force the exchange, and he stays active, and nice hold there at the end. Pretty clean. And we had that little repetition at the end. Okay. Interesting game. The Benko Gambit Declined. Feel free to leave any feedback in the comment section below to this video, and as usual, I hope you got something out of it. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.